Hello everyone. Let me share a little story about an IELTS test aspirant. The D-Day arrived. He felt nervous yet excited. He sailed through part 1 of the speaking test. Now, the upcoming sections were about to come. Firstly, he talked about the topics at ease. But then something unexpected happened. He froze. He got a topic in which he was least interested in and didn't know much about. Have you found yourself in such a situation? What to do? How to tackle it? That's what we are going to understand in this video. In today's lesson, I'm going to take you through this particular scenario in your speaking test when you're unable to find the answer for some questions. So I'm going to share top 7 tips and strategies that will surely help you speak like a pro in your speaking test. So make sure that you watch till the end of this video. If you find our videos useful, don't forget to like and share our videos. And subscribe to our channel as we come up with important exam updates and lessons to help you crack your IELTS test. This is your IELTS expert Sakshi. Now let's get started. My first and very simple tip for all of you is that do not look blank or freeze when you come across any questions or a cue card which you don't seem to be very confident about answering. Remember, confidence is the key to cracking any exam in the world, especially your speaking test in your IELTS exam. The second tip that you should keep in mind is that focus on language and not the content. That's right. IELTS is a test of your language proficiency, so you should rather focus more on your language skills rather than worrying about the content. The first thing to understand is that this is not really a test of your knowledge or experience. I do understand that you might not have knowledge or the necessary experience of specific areas or topics. So sometimes if you say something that is not factually right or historically inaccurate, remember that the examiner is not really going to verify the content. Do remember that there are no correct or incorrect answers in your speaking test. So focus on improving your grammar, vocabulary, sentence structures, and you will surely nail your test like a pro. My third tip for all of you is to use fillers and keywords of the question prompt. Now, especially in part 3 questions where you are facing analytical questions and you really need some time to process your thoughts. Well, let me tell you that you can actually take a little pause and think. That's right. Now, how do we actually navigate through this situation? Use fillers. Let me show you some of the interesting filler words that you can use at the very beginning to buy some time. That's a really good question. Or you could say, that's a really interesting or tricky question. Next, I have never thought about it before, but my guess is. Next, that's not something I know much about, but I suppose. Or you could say, let me think about that for a moment. So these are some of the fillers that you can use in some emergency situation. Make sure that you do not repeat them in each and every answer. Now let's take one question and let me demonstrate how you can use the keywords of the question to frame a good answer. The question is, do you think that art is as important as academic subjects when it comes to educating children? So your keywords are art, academics, and education. I'm pretty sure that your answer can easily revolve around these themes, even though your answer might be general and you might not know much about arts, you don't really dabble with it, but see how we can answer it. In order to excel in life, students should have good exposure to enhance their learning. Undoubtedly, good education is the key to doing that. I think both arts and academic subjects should be promoted for overall personality development and creativity of children. So even though I don't really have much specific to say about arts, I don't really have that domain expertise, but giving an answer like this will still prove that you are someone who can articulate well and play with the language properly. Tip number 4 is give honest answers and general answers. Now, sometimes you will really find yourself in a situation wherein you don't really have experience. That's okay. You can always admit that you don't know much about that particular subject or you haven't experienced it. You can be honest about it and tell the reason why. That will again help you to elongate your answer and make your answer very general. It's like, you can narrate experience of someone else, speak about it in a third person or just things which are general in society. Let me demonstrate an answer for you. Your question is, what kind of books are considered good reads in your opinion? Now imagine you don't really read books. But here's how we can answer it. To be honest, I have not read many books and don't know much about the popular books out there. But I suppose people like a variety of genres like thriller, suspense, romantic, spiritual, just the way people like different themes in movies, I suppose. People in my university read a lot of self help and finance books. I would definitely consider adding some inspirational books in my reading list to broaden my horizon. So, probably you haven't read many books, but you can always be honest about it and you can always picturize the themes in movies and which are applicable in your books as well, and also relate it with the experience in your life. Let's say you're talking about university students and what they like to read, right? That's how you can answer it. The next tip is for the situation where you fumble for the right word. That's right, lexical resources. So I do understand that sometimes, a word will not strike your head at the right time. So in order to avoid fumbling, here's what you can do. Describe the unknown word. Maybe not the exact verbatim word, but just try to describe it. Now let's say I'm not really well versed with gardening, don't really know about the tools and equipments to be used. So maybe I could simply say that there's this tool that is used to dig the soil or weed out the harmful plants, right? So maybe things, stuffs, you might use that. Of course, you should avoid such fillers from time to time, but you can still use it when you fumble for the right word. It would rather bring out the fluency when you speak. The next tip is for your part two, that is the cue cards. I do understand that many students just dread this particular part where you just get 1 minute to prepare and have to speak for 2 minutes. But it is not as difficult as you think. Well, you should first remember that you get 1 minute to prepare and organize your thoughts. So that should be the golden time for you to prepare what you want to speak about, right? Now, coming to the 2 minutes talk. Now, remember that there are certain bullet points in your cue card, right? Now, they are like guidelines or suggestions for you to speak. They are prompts. They prompt you to speak, right? But do not take it as, let's say, a mandate that you have to speak about it mechanically in order. Don't go and answer the questions in order. That will really take away the fluency. Instead, take it as a storytelling. Narrate your experience, show your observations, articulate your thoughts, feelings. Just share something from your life, your feelings. That's all you need to do in cue cards. Remember, this tip will be really useful for you to speak any topic of cue card like a pro. If you want more tips and topics on how to deliver good answers in your cue cards, make sure that you check out our previous video. My last tip for you is clarify the questions. Now I'm going to give you a proper breakdown of all the three parts in your speaking test. When it comes to part one, you cannot really expect the examiner to paraphrase or clarify the question for you. They are very basic questions. What you can do is ask them to repeat, right? But make sure that you are attentive most of the time, but it's absolutely okay if you ask politely. You could say, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat that, please? All right. Maybe you can use this. In part two, the examiner cannot really explain the question. What you have to do is try your level best to understand the main topic and follow the prompts. But when it comes to part three, in which the nature of the questions change, they are, more of analytical and really thought provoking. There could be a situation where you might not understand the question fully. So maybe in one or two instances, it's absolutely okay if you go ahead and ask the examiner to clarify the question. Could you please rephrase that question? Could you please clarify that question? Could you please repeat a question using different words? All right. And the examiner will do that for you in part three. But I'm pretty sure if you're well prepared and understand the major themes, you will not really find yourself in such situation. But it's better to give the correct answer rather than getting confused or see if there's any miscommunication. All right. So those are my tips for you to answer confidently any question, even if you don't really know much about the subject or you are not really interested in. If you follow these strategies properly, I'm pretty sure that you will see a higher band in your next speaking test. So go ahead and practice them and let me know which tip was the most useful to you. Do you have any suggestions to share with us? Let us know in the comment section. If you want more detailed guidance on how to go for your IELTS preparation this year, make sure that you check out our previous video wherein I have explained thoroughly the study plan for 7 days, 15 days and for 30 days. So don't forget to check it out. If you find our videos useful, don't forget to like and share our videos and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on the important content we have for you to help you nail your IELTS test. For more updates, don't forget to follow our Instagram page. You'll find a link for the same in the description box. So that's all for today's lesson. I will come back with a new lesson very soon. This is your IELTS expert Sakshi signing off. I'll see you next week with a new lesson for your speaking test. Till then, take care and bye bye.